Hello, little families. This week on Community Chat, Hagen Nares PLC, track record and brain injury lawyers, is speaking with wealth strategist Daniel Langfield. He is here to discuss his journey coming into the financial industry, what it's like to be a client of his, and a trading tidbit for the community related to financial wealth. And so I'm very excited for you to be here because obviously we speak to a lot of business owners, but this is one topic where the community at large can really benefit from is just wealth strategy conversations to start the process off, whether you started at a young age and we're investing from day one, or you're just getting started now. I think this is really valuable information. So I'm really happy you're here. But to start with, we really want to talk to you about your journey. How did you even get into the wealth strategy field?
Yeah, well, thank you for so much for having me on, Caitlin. I think the thing that got me into the wealth strategy field was the desire to be able to work for oneself. And then the other part was recognizing that there are some, like, this seems to be the biggest frustration for a lot of people. And so I had my own kind of entrepreneurial journey, like introduction going. It became about who you met and the books you read, which we've heard that one for a long time, but then also kind of learning that maturity, right? So I was introduced to one firm and recognized like I wasn't ready for the mindset shift, and I would say that. So then I was introduced to a health insurance firm and was really became an advocate for that. Some own personal journey, right? I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and my mom caught the West Nile virus. So she was a homemaker, and she had a 16-year-old down to a 3-year-old. So if you can imagine running a house of 6 kids, and she caught the West Nile virus. What is that, 21 years ago now? And so she was in the hospital for over 6 weeks. So if you can imagine, how in the world did my dad and my mom as a team, how did dad navigate continuing us through private school, getting and taking care of all of us emotionally, and then being able to send each of those kids off to college, and then being able to pay for a wedding, and he's still going to be able to retire by the time he's 65. And this is not with a significant income, right? So we're going, well, it's because the guy had a plan. And he'd met with some professionals on how to navigate that plan, how to protect oneself, have a defense as well as a good offense. And so my journey in through the health insurance space, that was kind of that was the platform I ran on, was being able to protect people from what would otherwise be bankruptcy in that regard. And then as I learned going, the financial strategist there's more puzzles to solve. So I loved health insurance and helping people in that regard. And the more I learned about what is available, that there's medical insurance does the medical side. What about all of the other personal side of things? And so that's why I reconnected with a mentor of mine, we'll call him, and they've been absolutely fantastic. And for me to be able to go out and be an advocate, a coach into how to create a great foundation and game plan and legacy to be able to withstand things. There's a phrase I started using was, well, what if you live? What if everything goes right? Or if you have some sort of medical or financial catastrophe, well, then how do you navigate that? And so that has been kind of the fun journey to help both on the personal side as well as business owners, because that was what I helped self-employed and business owners in health insurance for so long.
And I think that's great, your journey getting here. But that leads to the next question, which is, well, what is it like working with you specifically? Is there any unique approach that you take when you're talking with someone to plan for the future? Because what is unique about you is I think a lot of people talk about what are the worst case scenarios, and let's plan for that. But you also like to talk about, well, what are the best case scenarios? What happens if we can fulfill all your retirement dreams? What are those dreams? Which is unique about you. So I'd love for you to share, what is it like to be a client of yours? What's like that first meeting about? What do you talk about?
Yeah, the first meeting is always about getting to know one another, right? And becoming friendship and trust, I think is so essential, particularly in what I do. but working with me, I believe in a particular philosophy of foundation. Let's make sure that we have a really great launching pad for you, and then from there, it's a matter of what do you want your money to do for you. Um, I use a phrase that if I had XYZ amount of dollars at the end of the rainbow, that's great. What is it that will facilitate for you? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your concerns? Maybe you've had a parent or a sibling, aunt, uncle who had some sort of thing, and then you're super concerned about, or you said, you know, I really want to have this at the end of the rainbow. I want to be able to do this for my kids. I want to be able to do this for my spouse. I want to have XYZ thing. So they can be material or non-material of what it is that you want to accomplish. And it's not always just this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's how do you navigate the journey? And so what I like to do is we want to be on this journey together. And if you knew different kind of vehicles, when we talk about strategy, it's ultimately where do you want to go? That would dictate what maybe financial vehicles that would be best for you. And so we want to go about what is it that you want to accomplish in order to do that. And then there are different strategies that may be more efficient or put your money to the highest and best use towards your goals. And I've always been a teacher and coach ever since I was probably 14, 15 years old. I've always been that nature of coach, teacher. Some folks think I may be in the wrong world, but that's what it is that we do, is being an educator and a coach to help people achieve what they want to achieve with access to information that maybe other folks aren't.
And I think that's great. And obviously, at the end of the day, you are a strategist. You're making good, educated guesses on the best path to take. And um, that's where I want to lead to the last question, which is a training tidbit to the community. Just based on your wealth of experience doing this, commonly asked questions, thing you're seeing over and over again, is there maybe one or two training tidbits that you can give to all of us as we're starting this journey of kind of figuring out what our future is going to be, how we're going to plan, how we're going to strategize for our end goals? I would love for you to share.
Sure. Sometimes some folks, it's all about making more. And while that's wonderful, there are some people that are doing better with less than those who are making more. So they're just more attuned to what they're doing. So in my opinion, it doesn't matter whether you're making, as I say, 25 grand or 25 million, is that it matters better what you are doing with what you have. And so having there's percentages you can talk about, those kinds of things, but I would suggest that your own life and your health are what are kind of the fuel behind all of this. And so there's an element of leverage your life. What is your good health? And that can survive you for a lot of different things, particularly the younger that you are. And so I believe in making sure that you have some sort of good protection. The two things that you can control in your finances are making sure that you protect what you have and that you are keeping more of what you're bringing in, right? So what is your protection and what is your cash flow? If you can keep those, all the other things are variables, there's all kinds of different things, but if you can take control of what you can control, and in my opinion, it's like protecting what you have and keeping more of what you have, you're going to do really well.
I think that's great. And we appreciate you so much. Obviously, I'm going to include all your contact information in the show notes. But thank you so much for being here. And if, before we go, can you give a summary of just some general information that maybe anybody that wants to reach out to you should know? Maybe the types of people you work with, what's the scope of how you work with them, just any last things, so if they're deciding that they want to work with you, that they have this information.
Yeah, the premise is particularly us, we live in America, right? And that the financial peace of mind, if one can have it. And so I strive to help create clarity, confidence, and balance in one's financial house so that you have a long-term view as well as your short-term view. So working with me, I think the biggest things are I'm the teacher and the coach, but what really fuels me in the communities that I've been a part of is seeing other people come alive doing what it is that they are innately good at, what really brings them joy, and that your financial house is something to facilitate that. So let's have a conversation around those types of things. And it's about you. It's about you and helping you get to where it is that you wanted to go with it. And there's different vehicles out there to accomplish that. So I hope that answers your question, Caitlin.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, we'll include all your contact information in show notes. Thank you so much for being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.